live video, obviously, I mentioned what weird times we are living in. Actually, we got to praise Trump, and if a journalist doesn't praise Trump, then it's a bad thing because the criticism comes, then you are fired, right? It's very easy with those in power that they just send people away they don't want to hear questions from. And also, we got to praise gays. I mean, in Ukraine, there are journalists who are gay. One of them said about my home country, Hungary, that, oh, it's a small country, and why did the vice president Vance, why did he go to Budapest instead of Kyiv, Ukraine? So, like, he was complaining that Vance, the vice president of the US, preferred to visit Budapest to Kyiv. And this Ukrainian, he is not Ukrainian, an Irish journalist who lives in Ukraine, okay? So he was just saying, why would he visit a small country like Hungary, instead of Ukraine, which is a bigger country and more important country than Hungary? So it's like really it goes to show that the small countries don't have importance. You know, I was hurt by that video because um, I have never wished bad thing to Ukrainians, but I'm just saying it's just how somebody belittles your country like that, like why did the vice president of the US Vance go to Budapest instead of Kyiv? I don't know why. I mean, that was his decision. President Trump wanted it that way. So why do you have to criticize everything? And besides belittling Hungary, which is, yeah, I have a lot of painful memories too, but I'm just saying this makes me feel bad, So why is it that nowadays everybody who is trying to ask question is, that person is told, no, you cannot ask the question. So it's only about what you are allowed to ask. And this is the times we are living in. This is like you got to praise gay journalists and accept that he is calling your country a small country, So an Irish journalist, young journalist, was calling Hungary, yeah, a small country. And why did Vice President of the US visit Budapest instead of Kyiv? And I don't know the answer. President Trump knows the answer. Why? But I'm just saying Hungary was belittled. The Irish journalist didn't respect Hungary that much, in my opinion. He was belittling the country, So he could do that because he receives the support of President Zelensky. And so if he says anything about Hungary, oh, it's a small country, before the elections, this video came out. And the Irish journalist said that, oh, why did the vice president of the US go to Budapest instead of Kyiv? Ukraine is more important than Hungary. So this was before the election result. But of course, after the elections, everything was nice. Oh, the candidate that they wanted to win actually won. So yeah, now everything is wonderful, right? And yeah, we are going to war on Ukraine side. Hungarians are going to war, maybe in a few years' time, or maybe sooner. Um, so I was heard that the Irish journalist, said such things, like, yeah, why would the vice president of the US visit Hungary instead of Ukraine? Because Hungary is a small country. Yeah, it is much, much smaller than Ukraine, yes. But why do you have to belittle another person's country so much? Besides, he was making that video in Budapest. So on top of that, he was making that video from Budapest. And he was saying those things. Imagine that you are allowed to go to another country and say, oh, this small country, you know. Do you get my point? Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not fair. It's not fair what's going on. So these people get to be called journalists who are doing factual work. They are the ones who can say anything on camera just because they have a title, they are journalists. And anyway, another case, today I have seen a video, a brief video. A female journalist was interviewing President al-Shara, and she was asking, so Trump had said that you are handsome and you had a strong past. And then President Shara said, have you any doubt? And then he smiled in a strange, wicked way. And the journalist lady, she was like embarrassed, like, no, I didn't mean to question, of course you had a strong past. Of course you had a strong past. And it's like, what's going on? The world is very weird. Like, she was, the female journalist was embarrassed, I think. But she was saying, yes, you have a strong past. I have no doubt about that. It's like, putting a female journalist into an embarrassing situation. Wow, this is normal nowadays. So those with power, they are so lucky, especially the male ones. You are so lucky, guys, because you can say anything you like on camera and make the female journalists, like kind of, how to say, you can embarrass them, and yeah, it's not cool. In my opinion, it's not cool. So I'm just saying, why does the world have to look like this now? Why does it have to look like this? So, a president can embarrass a female journalist just like that, Have you any doubt? Oh, no, of course not. You had a strong past. No. And she was smiling in an embarrassed way. So can you imagine the situation? I wanted to see the full interview. I would have been curious to see the full interview because I just wanted to hear Shara's answer and also how the interview went. I would have been curious, but I haven't had the chance to watch the interview. But I'm just saying, this is such a strange world when everybody is competing, you have to compete, and then they embarrass you in front of other people. It's like you are on camera and people are going to embarrass you. It's like, this is the world, this is the new world order. Like, you have to praise President Trump, you have to praise all the presidents. Javier Milei, president of Argentina. President of Argentina has recently been to Israel. He is visiting the Western Wall in Jerusalem. and he has met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So Javier Milei, president of Argentina, has met Benjamin Netanyahu. So, like the Jewish stick together, it is, you know, so one is a president and another is a prime minister. So, how cool is that? And the female journalist just got to be embarrassed all the time. So, yeah, it's very funny how things go nowadays. It's like you got to be like kind of like shaitan and be cunning. This is the new rule for this world. So yeah, these Jewish presidents and prime ministers stick together. And Javier Milei was at the Western Wall in Jerusalem. And yeah, these things happen. The Jewish stick together and the world is according to them. And we ordinary people, we never have a chance. We never have a say, especially if you are a female. You got to shut up. You cannot speak. You are nothing unless you have powerful connections and education. That's the only time that people listen to you. How much it sucks, but this is the case. So the only time people listen to any female, if the female has connections, and connections and education, but it's all depending on whether or not the males allow the females to study. And if somebody has powerful connections, they can be anything. So I'm just saying that if you don't have powerful connections, you can feel like me, a worthless nobody. So I'm just saying the world is very disappointing for us, for the ordinary citizens. And we never get to be praised like the presidents. Trump can be so happy that despite everything, he is praised. He is the president of the United States and he can be proud of himself. And wow, we have to praise him. So the world is heading into this direction and there is no way back. And we ordinary people, unfortunately, barely live in a tiny space. And I can hear somebody on the upper floor flushing down the toilet. So, can you imagine the poverty we ordinary people have? We never have a chance to have a better life, and we always got to praise everybody, and we can never have hope because I'm not Jewish, so I'm not going to get anything. Do you get my point? So I'm just saying, Javier Milei, he is a Jewish president of Argentina. So yeah, Argentina. So, he can travel anywhere. And his connections, with Israel is, very strong. So I'm just saying, this is the world we live in, where only connections matter. So I'm very sad, but nobody cares. If I never have a chance, then who cares? I'm too old. And so I'm just saying the world is very unfair, as the Syrian brother told me, which I have already, known, that the world is very unfair, that only those with connections can have a better life. So anyway, whatever anybody thinks of me, that I'm a bad person or anything, I don't care because nobody is helping me. Actually, whatever I share it with, not just for some videos I share for information, others for fun. But I'm just saying, people don't care, and I never receive help from anyone. I don't have any connections, and I'm just a worthless nobody. So, when I was blocked, my channel was blocked. Nobody was asking anything, and I'm just really upset that some users were like just writing that, oh, Bridget is a good person, I think. Why do you have to write like that? I mean, what do you want to achieve? Like, yeah, um, you think I'm a good person, or whatever. So nobody helps me, and I'm just saying this is the world is just getting worse and worse, and it's weird. You got to praise President Trump, you got to praise Benjamin Netanyahu, you got to praise Javier Milei, you got to praise any presidents, and even then you can have no chance of a better life. So I'm just saying, this is the world, and we got to laugh at our misery. We are miserable, but we got to laugh because nobody cares about our misery. And so this is the world now. It's so anyway, returning to the Irish journalist, who is gay, and he lives in Ukraine, and he was just saying that, why did Vice President Vance go to Budapest instead of Kyiv? And the Irish journalist added, Hungary is a small country, so Ukraine is more important than Hungary. So why, did the Vice President of the US visit Budapest? So I'm just saying, this is how things go, that those with more leverage and influence, they dictate everything. And those of us who have no connections and nothing, we are not going to have a better life. We are never going to have anything. This is how it goes. So yeah, this is the new world. And it's a very corrupt world. So, you got to understand, nothing is guaranteed in this world. So everything is corrupt, and the game goes according to that. So it's nothing you can do about it. It's you got to accept that you got to praise President Trump and the rest of the political elite. You got to praise them because nobody cares about criticism. Nobody allows complete free speech. So, you got to play according to the rules set by the political elite. So this is how it happens. And I'm just saying, the world is such a painful place, and people are expected to smile and every time have a good mood. And yeah, this is the system, right? This is what we got to play around with. And nobody cares about how you feel. Or you always have to smile, but nobody cares about how you feel. This is the new world order. You have no say. You can just be a slave, an obedient slave. This is how it goes. So you got to praise the presidents and never ask questions that they don't like. So yeah, you got to praise gays and also presidents and everybody else. But even then, they won't care about you. You will just be a nobody. So this is how it is in this world. So I'm cynical, but yeah, who cares? So that's why I don't really want to carry on, because I'm too old and I know that I'm not going to get anything, and this world is sick, in my opinion, too sick. So, not for me. I'm not fit for this world, and the way things are. I don't like to play around this game. That's really sick. But this is how it has to go. Everything is according to how the powerful people want it. So they don't care about how we feel. So yeah, this is the video for today. And yeah, do you identify with this? Do you relate to this issue? How do you feel? How do you feel about these events when you see uh, those people giving interviews, and how do you feel? Do you like them? Do you feel that they are, great people? How do you feel about this whole topic? Do you feel happy? Do you feel good that we live in such a world? Are you empowered by everything? I wonder. But many of us are not empowered, so we we have the same issues and pain, all the time. So, it's not about what people deserve, because some people have connections. So it's not that they deserve such better lives, but they have connections that they can count on. So this is another thing, the world is not playing by fair rules. So I'm just saying, no matter what, this is going to be the case. And I'm very tired that God doesn't let me go. Like, I really want to. Uh, so yeah. Al-Wahhab. Al-Wahhab means bestower, provider. So those who believe and they are Muslims, they say, yeah, they only hope for provision from Allah. And, good for them who believe in Allah or any other, because there are other religions. But actually, there's only one creator of everything, but we often don't receive answer to our prayers, and things go better for other people, who have connections. It's like they skip the queue, the long queue of people, and they just get ahead. This is what happens. So yeah, I'm just sharing some strange videos on my channel, but I'm just saying this is how the world is. I'm just, sharing how I feel about this and the reflection of this world and what it does to psychology. It's very detrimental, but anyway, we are not the lucky ones. So yeah. Thank you for watching with patience. Of course, nobody wanted to add any comment to this video because somehow nobody can relate to this topic, I guess, that we live in a real weird world. So nobody can relate to that, I guess. It's very odd, really. I'm the only one who can feel, I don't know, discouraged. Nobody else feels, that this topic is relevant to any of us. So yeah, it must mean that you have the connections and everything is fine for you. Congratulations for your achievements and everything, this is how it goes. So thank you for watching with patience. Appreciate it, and goodbye.